women in history I've never heard of and wouldn't be surprised if you haven't either. Today, let's talk about Dr. Leila Denmark, MD. Leila Daughtry was born in Georgia in 1898 and passed away in 2012. Yes, she was 114. And I quadruple checked it, so don't come at me like I didn't. But see, that's not why she was significant. In fact, she's one of the few supercentenarians who was noticed for more than just her age. Because that's just a number, remember? She never asked for publicity or interviews, but if a reporter asked, she was happy to talk to them. Well, unless they wanted to focus on her age, in which case she kind of told them where to go. She remembered that when she was a kid, the air in the city was, quote, so thick with smoke that by 10 a.m. you had a mustache. Some folks still had dirt floors in their homes. There was no such thing as jarred baby food. Mothers pre-chewed food. It took me so many tries to say that. When it was time for their babies to start on solids. See, that is not a new thing, kids. But hey, it was disgusting when Alicia Silverstone did it, right? Anyway, back then, medical practices were vastly different from now. And most women were completely excluded from the field of medicine. In vaccines, forget about it. But see, as a child, and well, for her entire life, Dr. Denmark loved to help and heal. Whether that was a newborn chick or an injured calf on the farm where she grew up, she was there to make a difference. But it was a time period when not many career paths were open for women. So Dr. Denmark initially studied to be a teacher at Tift University in Georgia. Then she taught high school science for 2 years. But the universe and she had other ideas for her. After being denied entrance to medical school several times, for being a woman, she decided no was not the right answer. So in 1924, she convinced the admissions department at the Medical College of Georgia to say yes. When she graduated in 1928, she was the only woman in a class of about 50 men, and only the third woman to graduate with a medical degree. Her specialty? Pediatrics. In fact, it's believed that she was the first ever woman pediatrician in Atlanta. That same year, 1928 in case you forgot, she married John Eustace Denmark and became the first intern at the newly opened Henrietta Eggleston Hospital for Children, now called Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. She admitted their very first patient. How about a little fun fact? Just cut. She started practicing medicine the same year Mickey Mouse made his debut. Anyway, so in 1930, Dr. Denmark gave birth to her only child, a daughter called Mary. I'm a little partial to that name. And opened a private pediatrics practice from her home. She initially charged $4 for a visit. It's about $75 today. But Mary, how did she keep prices so low? Well, just one way. She never hired a receptionist. Instead, people came in and signed in on paper. I know, weird, right? Anyway, and once they were signed in, they waited for her to call their name. Dr. Denmark helped every child. Every child. She never discriminated. She also loved helping parents improve their parenting skills. She was known to spend up to an hour counseling them because she believed it was up to parents to ensure their kids' health and happiness. She also dedicated time every week to charity and became known for her wisdom and generosity in the field of pediatrics. Now, in 1932, there was an outbreak of illness in Atlanta, a disease that back then was quite often fatal for kids. So from 1933 to 1944, Dr. Denmark also dedicated time to research and publishing in the Journal of the American Medical Association regarding the diagnosis, treatment, and immunization against pertussis, or what you've probably heard called whooping cough. Or hell, maybe you've never heard of it. Because Dr. Denmark's work resulted in the first widely used pertussis vaccine, a vaccine that is preventing childhood mortality from whooping cough, even today. Well, I guess until it's outlawed, right? Okay, moving on before that gets my video taken down. Dr. Denmark also became known for an almost supernatural ability. Patients said that she could just look at them and she knew what was wrong and what they needed. And because she had this way with kids. You know, she listened to them. She also believed in finding the root cause of an illness, not just treating its symptoms. She made kids feel comfortable instead of afraid. For example, if she was examining a baby's ears, you know, using that thing that goes in the ear, she would chirp like a bird. Bingo, bango, baby distracted. Ear exam done. When a child had to take off their shirt for an exam, Dr. Denmark would drape it over a radiator. You know, keep it warm and pleasant to put back on. If she had to prick a child's finger, she did it on the side not the tip. That hurts less if you didn't know. In 1971, Dr. Denmark published her first book, Every Child Should Have a Chance. In it, she discussed the care and raising of children and her various methods for doing so. She published a second book in 2002. Dr. Denmark said it, Advice for Mothers from America's Most Experienced Pediatrician. Okay, yeah, that sounds a little pretentious, right? The most experienced. Well, she earned that. Because considering how long she practiced, it was not an exaggeration. See, Dr. Denmark stayed in practice until her retirement in 2001. When she retired, she was the oldest and longest practicing pediatrician ever, like in the world. Now, if you don't want to do the math, let me help. I am a giver like that. At retirement, Dr. Denmark was 103 years old and had been in practice for 7 decades. That's 70 years, kids. 73 to be precise. She was literally treating the great-grandchildren of the babies she had previously treated. And if not for failing eyesight, I'm pretty sure she would have continued seeing patients right up until she passed. She was among the first doctors to say that secondhand smoke is a horrible thing. Fucking duh. She said drinking cow's milk was unhealthy. Why would you drink milk from a different species? She said people should drink only water. And instead of fruit juice, eat the damn fruit. Well, and sugar. Minimize it or preferably get rid of it altogether. That applied to her too. She didn't even have a cake at her 110th birthday party. Dr. Denmark lived independently until she was 106 years old. Then she moved in with her daughter. She passed away on the 1st of April, 2012, aged, as I said, 114 years and 60 days. Before passing, she said a couple of the secrets that contribute to a long life include loving what you do, having a great sense of humor, and avoiding sugar. Over the course of her career, she received several awards. I don't have time to list all of them. But in 1935, she was awarded the Fisher Award for her work on whooping cough. In 1953, she was named Atlanta's Woman of the Year. In 2016, a high school was named for her. In 2019, she was inducted to the Georgia Women of Achievement Hall of Fame. Ooh, and I can't forget this one. In 2000, she received an honorary doctorate from Emory University. She got a standing ovation, the third ever standing ovation. Before her, Hank Aaron and the Dalai Lama. So I guess you could say she was kind of a big deal. But you know I'm not going to finish this without mentioning the things that critics found problematic, right? So remember I said she liked counseling parents? A lot of people called that a no-nonsense approach. But to summarize the critics, she didn't hesitate to put someone in their place if she didn't agree with their parenting methods. And why the hell was her second book written for only women? The title, remember? I mean, way to let men off the hook, am I right? Well, and while she had become a doctor and had a private practice and volunteered for charity and performed research, she was kind of a hypocrite. Because see, she believed that women had been brainwashed to pursue careers outside the home. You know, like becoming an attorney or a doctor. Instead, they should be satisfied to stay home and raise their children, to be good wives and mothers. Because according to her, daycare was all but evil. Seriously, that wouldn't piss me off nearly as much if she hadn't literally had a career herself. Okay, so despite that little hiccup against womanist beliefs, Dr. Denmark made immeasurable contributions to the field of pediatrics. And like I said, her vaccine continues to prevent children from succumbing to whooping cough. She had a long, long career, but she said she never worked a day in her life because she loved what she did. And according to her grandniece, Dr. Denmark had said near the end of her life, if I had to do it over again, all I'd want to do is chirp in one more baby's ear.